How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Yet another week of fights, Will.
Yeah.
Another week.
A mishmash.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Wasn't just
everybody,
the UFC going on.
Welcome to Story of the Fight. My name is Romero. That is Will. How you doing, Will?
Doing good, man.
Good. We have a lot to talk about.
Still a little bare in this room. Sorry,
but
for
the echo's like almost all gone.
That's good because that sucks. But also, I'm in the process. Literally, if you go in my living room, it's I got half of shelves put together. Couldn't finish it in time, but
hey, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, neither was my bookcase. But it'll be back there next time.
So for anybody first tuning in, this is Story of the Fight, where we cover everything fights. Like today, for example, we're going to be covering a little bit boxing, right? A little bit. We're going to be covering UFC Fight Night. What is it? Las Vegas 45?
45,
and a lot to talk about. And if for any reason you like listening to us jokers talk about fights, you can follow us on Spotify, Breaker, Podcast, Radio Public, or what is it? Radio Pocket, something. I don't know. Apple Podcasts. You know, pretty much anywhere where podcasts are found. Like everywhere. For real. And then social media?
Yeah, it's at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter. Otherwise, we're here on YouTube. We have a group chat called Story of the Fight Chat on Facebook. And that's where we're at.
I'm trying to think of the last time I used the Story of the Fight Chat.
I know the last time I used it.
Never.
Not once.
Not once.
But yeah.
Well, we could go ahead and get started, Will, because there's a lot. Oh, hey, by the way,
there's a lot.
Gotta give a shout out to Rich, our producer in the background. He's yeah, you can't see him, but he's doing a lot of work back there. But thank you, Rich. We had we could start off with what, Jake Paul?
We'll start with that. Get that out of the way.
Tyron Woodley.
Celebrity boxing.
Celebrity boxing. Well, I wouldn't say so much celebrity boxing. The fight before that, oh my God, I don't know if you actually had an opportunity to see the Frank Gore versus Darren Williams fight. Rich being a basketball guy, I'm sure he would have appreciated watching Darren Williams, but it was rough. It was rough. But yes, we had Tyron Woodley versus Jake Paul. What were your initial thoughts, Will?
Going into it or reactions?
Maybe reactions. Oh, you know what? Both.
So going into it, I was like, whatever, Tyron Woodley, get your money. Things changed, though. My opinions of it has changed. Probably shouldn't have done that. But I'll be honest. I watched the first one when it happened, and this is how much it left an imprint in my mind. I get home. We had a dinner, right, with my family and Sam. He's up here for Christmas. He's on leave, right? And
Sam's in town?
Yeah, because of Christmas, right? So he's on leave or whatever, right?
Nice. Shout out
Get
to
back.
Sam.
This was already over, so I didn't watch it live. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's find it. So I find it online, start watching it. I was like, damn, this fight sucks. It's not good. Like, again, Woodley just not throwing anything. Fight ends in decision, and we're like, oh, weird. And then Sam was like, that's weird. I don't get the memes. Because then we see, like, the memes, right, of what happened. Turns out we rewatched the first fight. I swear to God. We rewatched the first one, and that's how much it left an imprint in my mind that I rewatched it and had no idea.
Time out. You wanted to watch Woodley versus Paul 2, but you accidentally ended up watching Woodley versus Paul 1.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, this fight sucks again. And it turns out it was just the same fight. And then we went back and found the real one.
Oh, Woodley rocked him. You had him up against the ropes again. Same result. Are you kidding me right now?
I swear to God, dude. I wish I was joking.
Hilarious.
Rewatch the first one. I mean, it left a zero impression on me, so nothing was recognizable in that fight.
Okay, but did Jesus.
So
You
yeah,
went
I ended
through
up
and watched
watching the new one. Yeah, the second one.
You
Yeah,
did a marathon. It was like a Jake Paul marathon.
yeah, it's fucking awful. So that being said, the knockout is spectacular. Credit where credit's due. That knockout is one of the best of the year. It's
Yes.
fucking insane.
Yes, and I said it before on the previous time that we covered Woodley versus Paul 1, and you might be able to say this since you just rewatched again, Will. But you could tell that Jake Paul's putting in the work.
Oh yeah, the thing is, his offense is looking pretty damn good. I'll give him that.
It is.
The defense, the cardio, the footwork, not so much, but the offense is there. He's got scary offense.
But the thing is that he's actually putting in the work.
Yeah,
he's putting in the work. He's sparring. You have people talking about the fact that when they spar Jake Paul, that he actually puts up a fight, that he's legit. He tried to book a fight with Tommy Fury. That didn't work out. And I'm willing to put money down to say that Tommy Fury, there's nothing wrong with Tommy Fury, but that there's a risk of Tommy Fury actually losing against Jake Paul. And
that part's true.
And the Fury family doesn't want that to happen right now.
I don't think so. I think that part's true. There's a chance he would have lost. Tommy's not the best boxer in the world, but
I think there's a big chance.
But I do think he had an injury, and I do think he had a chest infection.
Man, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
I wouldn't either.
Just like, hey, got to pull out of this fight because things ain't looking too good. And probably after, he saw what happened to Woodley, he was like, chest infection's still there. Can't do anything. Not going to be able to fight anytime soon. And one of the things that's been frustrating me is there's a lot of people saying that this was staged, that this was fake.
People are ridiculous, man.
All you have to do is watch it a couple times over. Jake Paul went to the body a couple times. Hey, we know Woodley has sensitive ribs.
Feints, he drops his hands, he goes for real this time, and he drops his hands thinking he's going back to the body. It's literally, people are saying that the feint.
He did the feint twice, and both
that's
times
why people think it's rigged.
Woodley reacted and brought his left down.
Yeah.
Both times.
Yeah.
And guess what? He capitalized.
Yeah, people think it's rigged because of the double feint. They think that was like the signal. Like, all right, and I'm going to land on you now. It's like,
oh my God.
You think 40-year-old Tyron Woodley wouldn't rather beat him and get a trilogy and make another quick $1 million? Hell no. He's not throwing this fight. Come on.
Yeah, and then there was somebody else online that was talking about, that he's seen Woodley take harder shots in the octagon, so there's no way that knocked him out. Look, that was a clean shot straight to the dome.
That's the stupidest argument ever, dude. I've seen people get dropped by a jab and then go through a 5-round war after. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but hey, when he actually starts opening up a little bit more, like he did against Vicente Luque, Woodley.
Oh, Woodley, yeah.
He got caught.
Yeah,
it's not the first time that Woodley's gotten caught.
No. Well, because he's fallen in love with that overhand right so much to the point where when he throws it, the left hand's down. It's like people can't take this power, so he's not ready for the return. This was different, right? It wasn't like he got countered. He just bit the feint too hard 3 times in a row. The third time, it wasn't a feint.
Yeah. I mean, it was set up beautifully.
He deked him.
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, it was depressing.
It was pretty sad to watch that happen to Woodley. And then at the end, where he goes and gives Jake Paul a hug, and Jake Paul gives him some recognition and says, hey, he's a legend. I shouldn't take anything away from what he did in MMA.
I think they secretly really like each other.
I think so, too.
Did you see the video of him getting the watch?
No.
Oh, you need to watch that. It's so funny. But I think they do like each other.
Yeah?
Yeah. Jake Paul gives him a watch.
And a Rolex, right? I heard about it, but I didn't see the video.
It's a Christmas present, and he's like, what the fuck is this? He thinks it's a joke, right? And he's like, no, you got to open it right now. And Ariel's like, oh, I don't know what to do because this isn't my job normally. And he opens it, and he's just like, whoa. And he looks around, and he's like, this dude's crazy. And he pulls it out and opens it up, and he's just like, God damn. And he's just like, I accept your gift. It's so funny, dude.
Dude, I got to watch this.
Yeah, it's great.
I got to watch this. All right, I'll look it up. But now we'll see who Jake Paul schedules for himself next. Woodley still stays a free agent. I don't think that we're going to have a bunch of people knocking on his door trying to get him into their organization. Not even Eagle FC right now,
No.
So we'll see what
I mean,
happens.
it's unfortunate because it shouldn't be, but the reality that we live in with the public, it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
He went out there, he boxed. You know, he's not a boxer. He's 40 years old. He took it on short notice. I'm not making excuses, right? Jake landed the shot that he landed. He's training. He's legit training. But people will see this as UFC champion knocked out cold by YouTuber. That's what people will see it as.
Unfortunate. And I think that
Yeah.
one of the worst parts too is that when he face planted, all you see is his
Dude wipes.
Yeah, dude wipes.
Yeah.
That's all you see.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. I think Dude Wipes posted something afterwards too. They're like, yeah, check out our ad.
Damn.
Oh man. All right. But we also had UFC Vegas 45 going on.
A much better card.
Yes.
Who would have thought?
We did not have Frank Gore in this or any other retired
Yeah.
NBA players.
Or retired UFC fighters.
Yeah. We had Derrick Lewis versus Chris Daukaus on the main event.
Yeah.
Classic Derrick Lewis, by the way.
Yeah. I watched this one with Sam, and when they're doing the face-off, I was like, shit, Derrick Lewis is the underdog? I wish I knew that, because I think when we first talked about this, we talked about how Daukaus is really good and very good offensively, but he gets hit a lot. And you can't get hit a lot, fight that way against someone like Derrick Lewis, because all it takes is one. So I had Lewis by knockout all the way, and I saw him as the underdog, and I was like, fuck, I wish I knew that going into this card.
Let me place a bet on my bookie so that they don't accept it.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck, man, I would have put a parlay together, whatever. But I didn't, and I saved some money because I probably would have lost on other picks. But
it's just classic Lewis, the way that he keeps his right hand cocked back, slowly stalking.
Until he wasn't slowly stalking. Jesus Christ.
When he blitzed him and he had him up against the cage, that was scary, man. Look, there's a shot. Nice timing, Rich.
Damn.
But his legs go out. Oh, yeah.
He killed him.
Oh, yeah. But you're right. All it takes is one shot.
It takes one from him. Unfortunately, for Daukaus, he wasn't just throwing one at a time. This was it's rare to see Derrick Lewis have that crazy killer instinct and just go for broke like that. It's been a long time since he's done that. Probably out of fear of gassing, but goddamn, I hope this gave him some confidence in that, because I don't think very many people can take a Derrick Lewis swarm, you know?
No, not very many people at all. And the fight that I wish, it's weird because I wish that Lewis versus Ngannou would happen again. But then I think, like, man, that's the fight that never happened that I wish would happen, but it did happen, but it didn't at the same time because they just didn't.
Derrick Lewis has a win over the champ. How about that?
Oh, wow.
If Francis gets through Cyril Gane, why not? Go Derrick Lewis again. Fuck it.
Right?
I don't know what John Jones is doing. I'd like to see it. I think Lewis versus Ngannou would be very different than the first time they fought.
All right, so I mean, in heavyweight, like you said, we have Cyril Gane that's going to go up against Ngannou, right?
Yeah.
You still have Stipe in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with Stipe? Do you do a Stipe versus
Jones.
Derrick Lewis now? I don't want to see Derrick Lewis versus Curtis Blades.
I think if Stipe is really waiting, I think Stipe probably fights the loser of Cyril Gane versus Francis. I think that's the right move. He shouldn't get a title shot, in my opinion. And John Jones, I don't think they're going to give him anything other than a title shot. So if Cyril Gane beats Francis, I don't know what the hell happens. But if Francis beats Cyril Gane, John Jones versus Francis is probably going to happen. And then I would say you go Stipe versus Cyril Gane.
Ooh,
who knows?
That'd be a good matchup too.
If Cyril Gane beats Francis, they'll probably do a rematch just because it's the UFC and they probably would like to have Francis as the champ. But I would love to see Stipe versus Francis, not for the title.
Okay, yeah,
because they're 1-1.
Hopefully, we get to see Chris Daukaus back here soon. He's been a fun fighter to watch.
Was it kind of surprising that they interviewed him? I was kind of surprised that they interviewed him. The dude was out cold. Lights off.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I did not expect. And then when they interviewed him, he was like totally coherent. And I was like, whoa, maybe I was wrong. He was more coherent than Bisping was.
I mean, oh yeah, that was Bisping had quite the night.
Yeah, quite the night. Dude.
Yeah, quite the night. All right, anything else on the main event?
Do you think Daukaus was rushed to the top?
You know,
He was 7 going into this, fighting Derrick Lewis at
I
number
was
3.
thinking that. I was thinking that when I was watching this last night.
Mhm.
What else do you do with Daukaus? I mean, you could have gone a little bit slower and seen if we could have gone a Rosenstruck.
I was thinking you go him versus Volkov. I thought that was
That
the
would have been a
logical
good
step
matchup
up for him.
too. I mean, even versus Curtis Blades.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I
so
think
yeah,
I
a little
think,
rushed.
yeah, a little rushed. I don't know what you do with him now. Maybe someone like Tom Aspinall or Tai Tuivasa just came off a win. I would love to see that fight, Daukaus versus Tuivasa. That's what you do, because Tuivasa needs to go up, right? He's ranked 11.
Yep.
He's got to
I
go
feel
up.
like we know what we have between 1 and 6 with Cyril Gahn, Stipe, Derrick Lewis, Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov, Jairzinho Rosenstruck. I feel like we know
Yeah.
what we have there. Maybe it's just the UFC. Like, what do we really have with Chris Daukaus? Like, what can
Yeah.
we expect from this guy right now?
hmm
And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Marcin Tybura here pretty soon against a Volkov.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
they're probably trying to mix up that top 6 and stir it up a little bit if possible,
Yeah.
because it's been those same 6 that I just named off right now for quite some
For a
time, with
while.
the exception of Cyril Gahn, right? He's
Yeah.
still fairly new. Yeah, quick ascension. But
Yeah,
with
quick
everybody
ascension.
else, they've been there for quite some time already. So they're probably trying to mix it up.
And
Create a
don't
little
forget
spark.
that they're all about to get bumped 1 when John Jones figures out his thing. He just got the plea deal, so all charges dropped. So
Of course.
yeah,
I think you're the one that
That's
texted
him.
me still undefeated, right?
yeah,
Still undefeated. John Jones, man. All right. Before that, we had Belal Muhammad versus Steven Wonderboy Thompson. Another tier has fallen for Will.
man, this was tough because in the same night that Woodley gets knocked out cold, like these guys had crazy fights against each other. I think we watched the first one together, right, at your house.
I think so.
And I called the draw, right? At the end, I was like, I think it's a draw. And then it was. And I was like, oh, shit. They got it right. And it was such a crazy fight. That both of their fights were crazy. I know looking back, people don't really rewatch them that often, but live, those fights were insanity.
I
Watching
just
those live
remember
was nuts.
pins and needles.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, this onslaught that Wonderboy survived in the end of those in both fights.
Do you remember
in
the
late
guillotine
rounds.
he was caught in?
Yeah, dude. That's crazy.
I was like, oh, it's done. I just remember thinking,
Yeah.
it's done. It's done. And
Yeah.
he gets out of it.
And he
But,
got out of it. So seeing both of them clearly on the decline like this is tough. But I mean, that's
One of
what
the
happens,
things
right?
I do remember from Stephen Thompson is just the great takedown defense, too.
Yeah, it's just not quite there anymore.
And Belal Muhammad, I mean, perfect timing. You see the
Yeah.
shot of him straight picking him up. And this was beautiful, by the way, because this is when he picks him up. And as he's putting him back down,
Yeah,
kind of
he
lands
turns
on his
him.
feet. No, he kind of
Mhm.
lands on his feet. And then he
Oh,
ankle picks. Like as soon as he
yeah, yeah.
lands.
yeah.
It was beautiful, man. And
Yep.
just relentless pressure from Belal Muhammad. Relentless, man.
Yeah, and people are giving him shit, right? They're saying like, "Oh, it's a boring fight. When's the last exciting Belal Muhammad win?" All this stuff. I don't think you beat Wonderboy and look good. The only person who's ever looked good beating Wonderboy was Pettis with the once in a lifetime Superman punch knockout. But up until that was getting picked apart. Like if you beat Wonderboy, it is a long, drawn out control fight because otherwise
He's one
You're
of the
not
best
gonna beat
strikers
him.
in the UFC.
you're not going to beat him in an exciting way. It's just not going to happen. So I don't discredit Belal for this at all. Some people are kind of shitting on him a little bit for his performance, but I don't think so.
Yeah, and
You could
That's
argue it
just
could have
his
been stopped
style.
first.
that's just
When
his
he had his
style,
back?
man. Oh, yeah.
Mhm. That was tough. Wonderboy wasn't really doing much. Could have stopped that fight. People would have been upset.
But I think he's just going to be one of those fighters where we just have to appreciate him for what he is. He's
Wonderboy?
going to be one of the Belal
Belal.
Muhammad, where he's just going to grind him out. Him
Yeah.
out. It's going to be a long, grueling fight more than likely. He's just going to
Unless
out
he's fighting
cardio.
Leon.
Yeah, exactly. He's just going to out cardio his opponent and just keep on breaking him slowly.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. I appreciate it.
I mean, yeah, you have to beat it. This was on Wonderboy to stop those takedowns, not on Belal to finish him, right? What did you think of the crowd with Felder? Did you watch it with commentary?
Is this when they yelled USA?
They're chanting USA, and Felder's like, some idiots. So he's like, someone in the crowd's chanting to USA, but I don't think they realize Belal Muhammad is literally from Chicago. He's
Bunch
like,
of idiots.
idiot.
Yeah. That was pretty
That was
funny.
great.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not much to say about the fight.
No, it's a bummer. Changing the guard, right? Wonder Boy. I think this kind of solidifies that Wonder Boy's probably not making a title run.
No, I think this is it. That's the very first thing I thought of last night when he lost. Is just well, that was it. Because we continue talking like maybe Wonder Boy's that one style that'll be able to get Kamaru Usman. Not going to happen.
In his prime, maybe, but not at this point.
Well, it happens to everybody. Well, it happens to everybody.
Isn't it weird that we hope that, even though I'm a huge Usman fan, I think once someone starts to get so dominant and look so goddamn good, I start hoping to see what's going to beat them. That's what I'm more excited about. You know what I mean?
Well, it's me like with Amanda Nunes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Nunes fan. I think she's the best female fighter of all time. But I was excited to see Pena pull this one off because I don't know. I respect when champions take on different challenges and push themselves. And you know what? You continue fighting the best, somebody's going to have some type of style, and it's going to happen. And I respect that so much, man. Mm-hmm. Instead of just kind of like cherry picking your fight so you retire undefeated.
Yeah, like when Anderson had his reign, I loved him. He was fantastic. How could you not like him, right? But then every single fight, I was hoping he was going to lose because I just wanted to see who's going to figure this out. But it doesn't mean so. Like with Wonder Boy, I was hoping maybe that's the puzzle that's going to beat Usman. But that's no knock against Usman. I'm a big fan. You know,
of course, yeah. So when he watches this, just know Usman, we're big fans.
Yeah.
We just let see you get challenged. All right. Before that, we had Amanda Lemos versus Angela Hill. This is where my tear dropped.
What a fight!
Yes.
What a fight, dude!
It was an amazing fight.
Yeah. This was
Angela
insane,
Hill
man.
Falls to 13-11. 13-11.
Man.
But
that front kick.
Oh, nasty.
Oh my God. I thought it was over.
Dude, Angela Hill's a little scrappy though.
This was Herzog, right?
Was it?
I think it was Herzog. Fantastic job not stopping that fight because you could have stopped that.
Probably.
Tyone would have stopped that, you know? But because she lands the front kick, she starts wobbling, right? Does the whole stanky leg, right? Kevin Lee, Barbosa, all that stuff. Falls back and gets ripped. And she's getting pounded. But while she's getting lit up, she's actively finding her guard again, ends up securing her guard. And I think most refs would have stopped that fight. And I'm so glad they didn't because I thought she won the next 2 rounds.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought so too. When they called 29-28 Hill and then 30-27 Lemos.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on here?
Who sent this shit?
Yeah. And then when he said 29-28, and I was like, okay, 2 judges saw it the same way I did. Great.
Yeah.
For Lemos, I was like, what the dude?
Yeah.
Come on.
Douglas Crosby, 30-27 Lemos. Go ahead. Hey, Douglas. Lose my number. How about that? You know?
Dude, we should start a new segment. Lose my number at that. They just see like calling out
whoever we're pissed off about.
Yeah, just lose my number.
It sucks, man, because how many split decision losses has Angela Hill had now?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
That she should have won.
I think she is probably the best, close to 500 fighter on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, 13-11, not pretty, right?
No.
13-11 is not pretty. But she's just got so much potential, man. She's got all the skill in the world. She's extremely tough. When I was going through and making my picks last night for the card, I had picked Angela Hill because I thought, okay, this is the most experienced person Lemos is going to end up fighting.
Yeah.
She's, like I said, she's extremely scrappy, very experienced, and she'll be able to pull this one off. And Lemos had that first round dump, which, I mean, she should have put out a lot of energy there. She was very close to finishing the fight.
That was gnarly.
But then I was like, okay, here we go. Angela Hill survived. Lemos threw a lot of power shots. She looks more tired now. You could definitely see it in the second round.
Yeah.
I didn't take a look at the cards. Well, was it the third round that they gave to Lemos?
On the split, who gave it 29-28? First and third.
Yep. Because it was closer. The third round was closer, but still, I thought that Angela Hill had pulled it off. And maybe I'm just being biased because I love Angela Hill.
I was rooting for Lemos, and I thought Angela Hill. I thought she took it. She impressed me in the fight enough for me to be like, damn, I'm kind of rooting for her now. And the knockdown was massive. It was early in the round. I'm not arguing she should have lost that round. That was a clear round for her, right? But what's remarkable to me is it didn't take getting to the second round for Angela to start mounting her momentum. After she recovered from getting destroyed, for the rest of that round, she won. If you clipped it right after she got dropped and the ground and pound, and you cut it right there and started watching the next 2.5 minutes, you'd be like, yeah, Angela Hill took that round. You'd have no idea that she got annihilated right before that. She bounced back so fast. I was super impressed.
I mean, dude, you already know how I feel about Angela Hill. I'm so bummed out about this one.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough.
She was ranked 12th going in.
I don't think she can go down from that. I don't think she should lose stock. I don't know what Dana said or how he thought about it, but I don't think her stock should be dropped at all. Because you look at the girls that are below her.
Jessica Payne, Virna Janjiroba. Dude, I'm a big Janjiroba fan, though.
I know. Maybe you do that fight if she doesn't have one lined up. Maybe you do that fight.
That's a good one. That'd be fun.
Hey, how about Brianna Van Buren in the top 15 out of Gilroy? All right.
What?
Yeah.
There we go, representing Gilas, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. That's tight.
But yeah. I mean, that was a very exciting fight. I think it was more exciting than the last two for sure.
I mean, it was fun. It was fight of the night. It won fight
For
of
a
the
reason.
night. Right,
For a
so.
good reason. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Before that, we had Ricky Simón versus Raphael Assunção.
I love Simón.
Yeah.
He's
Why,
so
'cause of
sick.
his mullet?
No, just his style, man. The dude the tenacity is crazy, man. He's vicious. He's on a 4-fight win streak. How about that?
He does have one of the best mullets in the game, though. Wasn't he ranked when he went up against
think
Uriah Faber?
Yeah, and everyone was like, probably shouldn't be fighting Ricky Simón for Uriah, and then Uriah knocked him out in the first round. I was like, oh, never mind.
Then he lost. Was that his first loss?
In the UFC, I think that was his first loss. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, whoa, I forgot he has a win over That's impressive. That's a win that ages well, right? Guillotined him. Yeah, guillotined him in the third round. But yeah, he lost to Uriah, got knocked out in the first, then lost a decision to Rob Font, and has since won 4 in a row now.
And Rob Font, no slouch.
Yeah, I think this is his first.
Right?
I think this is his first knockout in the UFC. This one.
Yeah, that's what they said yesterday. That's what they said last night. His first knockout in the UFC, and against a tough opponent too, man.
Yeah, a very tough opponent, but I think this is the sign now that Assunção, it's time, I think.
So was it passing of the guard night?
It kind of was, man.
Oh.
And then Derrick Lewis said, "Hold my guard," but up until that, kind of.
He said, "Hold my cup."
Yeah, literally. We didn't even talk about that.
That's right. We didn't. I mean, not much to talk about other than the fact that he took the cup out of his shorts and tossed it, and a fan grabbed it and held on to it. Kept it. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a move. But I think Assunção's in the top 15 still. He's at 12. I think this is time that he probably drops out of it, and I don't know what's next for him because, I mean, dude's 39 years old in the bantamweight division.
That's stacked.
That's very impressive to last that long in the top 10 even. But I mean, he hasn't been losing to nobodies, right? His last 4, he's got 4 losses, but it's Ricky Simón, Cody Garbrandt, Sandhagen, Moraes. I mean, all tough customers, but that's 4 in a row now, and you're 39 years old.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with Assunção because I don't think he falls out of the top 15. I don't.
I think he does. Bantamweight's too stacked, man. It's just too stacked, and I think he's kind of losing his spot as a benchmark. It used to be if you can get past Assunção, really legit. Now it's
off to the races.
Yeah, but now it's I don't know. Ricky Simón knocking you out, and it's his first knockout. That sucks.
If they want to continue with the slow ascension for Sean O'Malley, why not Raphael Assunção then?
Well, it's funny you say that because Simón called out O'Malley. O'Malley called out Simón. They offered the fight. Sean signed it. Simón said he can't make 135. He backed out of it. You remember that?
Really?
Yeah. And then he calls him out after this fight, and it's like, dude, you had this fight on the table, and you turned it down because you said you couldn't make 135, and then here we are fighting a Sunset at 135.
Wow.
It was short notice, I think. It was. Remember when Moutinho stepped in? Who was he supposed to fight when he fought Moutinho?
I don't know.
Do you remember?
No.
Shit. Keep talking.
Yeah, I mean,
it was fuck. There was like a few people. Brian Kelleher was in the mix to fight O'Malley on short notice. He was supposed to fight Louis Smoka. Smoka pulls out, and they're like talking about maybe Kelleher and then Simón. Simón calls him out publicly. He's like, "I'll take the fight, all this shit." And then O'Malley's like, "Fuck yeah, let's do the Simón fight." And then he was like, "Actually, I can't make 135." And I was like, "Oh,
JK.
you just wanted to capitalize on this, look tough, and say you'll take the fight." And then fizzles out. Chris Moutinho steps in, and we all know what happened after that. But
history.
Yeah, maybe that's the fight to make now.
Maybe.
Big step up for O'Malley. Very big step up, in my opinion. But fuck it, let's do it.
Why not? All right. Before that, we had Mateusz Gamrot versus Diego Ferreira.
What a fight. I loved this fight.
Gamrot is so well-rounded.
He really is. He
so
really
well-rounded.
is.
I was very impressed, and I thought to myself, okay, if he takes Ferreira down to the ground, if they start grappling, it's going to be a tough night for Gamrot.
Yeah, right? Because you
so
think
much.
Ferreira, it's like, I mean, the dude, the first round of Ferreira versus Gregor Gillespie was pure insanity. And I feel like Gamrot saw that and was like, oh, he gassed. And that's what he, like that crazy chain grappling, back and forth, scrambling the whole round. He gassed. I can do that and break him too. And he tried. And it was fucking crazy because both of them were just sweeping each other, chaining takedown. It was crazy. These guys were all over the place. I loved it. Mixed
Great
martial arts,
matchup.
you know what I mean?
Great matchup. And then the ending,
Mm-hmm.
right? Herzog, great job because he was in communication with Ferreira. I don't know what happened to the rib. Did you see the post-fight press conference?
Well, so I didn't watch the post-fight press conference, but the commentary team kept saying like, "Oh man, I'm sure Gamrot doesn't want to win like that, but I mean, a win's a win, all this stuff." And I'm like, "What the fuck? He straight broke his rib with a knee. I would love to win like that. That's a
TKO.
great win."
That's a TKO right there.
It wasn't some freak. They were playing it off like it was a freak accident, like he popped his rib out in a grappling exchange or something. Hell no, dude. It was that knee right to the kidney, dude.
It was a perfect shot.
Basically a verbal tap. It was gnarly.
Yep.
I don't know.
He tried to stop it. Herzog tried to stop it.
Yeah.
And then Gamrot's like, no, not until I feel you tap.
Neck. Yeah.
Ferreira's face, poor guy.
I know.
He's
it was
like,
tough.
what the hell, dude?
Yeah, but man, Ferreira, I feel bad for him because his you look at his 2021 and it's 0-3, and it's like, fuck, man. I mean, the dude goes into 2020 or comes into this year, hasn't lost since 2015, and it was against Dustin Poirier. So it's like, guy's got a good roll going along. All of a sudden, this year goes 0-3 against Beneil Dariush, Gregor Gillespie, and now Gamrot. Tough run.
Tough opponents, though.
Yeah, that's a tough year, man.
I mean, Dariush?
Yeah. What is he ranked, like number 3 or something like that now?
I think he's ranked 3rd, yeah. Gillespie. I mean, Gamrot's
in one of the best fights of the year.
Fighter, too, so.
Tough year,
we'll
man.
See. I don't think he gets cut or anything like that.
I hope not, because all 3 of those fights were fantastic, too. The Beneil fight was a split decision.
Was it?
Yeah, and the Gillespie fight was just a war of attrition, and he happened to be on the wrong side of it. This one, dude, take a nasty knee to the kidney. There's no shame, you know.
There's a little bit of a delay in that too, because he gets kneed, then he kind of like tries to go back for the, and then he goes, "Oh, dude."
Yeah." I wonder if
it
it fucked up his rib, and then when he did reach back to try to block the next one, that twist made him really feel the damage that was done, and was like, "Oh, I'm done."
Yeah, and good for him, man.
Yeah,
being like, hey,
props.
Live to fight another day.
Yeah,
live to fight another day. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Before that, we had Cup Swanson versus Darren Elkins.
Vintage Cup Swanson.
Yep.
You
And
know,
vintage Darren Elkins too.
I know. And vintage
Darren
Herb
Elkins,
Dean
too.
with the stutter step before stopping a fight. Dude is so unsure of himself lately. It's
There's
crazy.
a reason that he has a tattoo that says the damage
Yeah.
on his chest, right? Because
Yeah,
he inflicts a lot
seriously.
of damage. He also absorbs a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And what a perfect shot by Cub Swanson. I mean, look,
Which
this
one?
is a shot. Look, Darren Elkins. This is the
Yeah.
problem, right? Look at how much
Mhm.
he extends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's still a good inch or two away. And
Huge
Cub's too
extension, leaves
fast.
himself open.
Cub's too fast. He's going to take advantage of that, you know?
Yep. And one of the best things about this fight, honestly, I'm a big Cub Swanson fan too. He's been watching him for a while. But then the family shot at the end,
Oh, I
where
know,
the
dude.
kids are in there,
Yeah.
his wife's in there, his coaches are in there. And it was just an awesome shot to see. He looks so happy because remember, he's gone through some tough times, man, with the injuries and stuff like that. So,
dude, I mean, you look at his run, dude. It's from 2017, he loses to Ortega, loses to Edgar, loses to Moicano, loses to Burgos, gets a win against Crone, tears his knee in a grappling contest against Jake Shields, comes back,
that's right. I
comes
forgot
back,
about that. Yeah.
comes back exactly 1 year later from where he tore his knee, and then takes out Daniel Pineda in a vicious fight. That was awesome. And then he loses to Chikadze, which is no slouch, right? But fucking, it's a tough loss when you lose to Chikadze because it's going to probably hurt. And then he comes back here and wins. So it's been a tough go lately.
Was it a kick to the body?
I think it was a
with
body
Giga,
kick.
right?
Yeah.
Look, there's a shot I was telling you about. Look at that.
Fantastic.
I mean,
Yeah.
he looks like a fantastic guy. So,
And he always
when I
he
saw
seems
that,
so
I was
wholesome,
super
man.
pumped.
He
Right?
seems so wholesome. And to see him have one of these types of performances, like you only get a few of them. And this was like Anderson Silva versus Chris Lieben, where it's like an elusive guy versus a very tough guy, and the elusive guy just fucking dodges everything and picks his shots and is just can't miss, power on everything he's throwing. Fucking slick, man. So slick.
Wasn't he training with TJ Dillashaw for a while too?
Cub, I think he was for a bit. Or
I wonder where he's
Elkins,
training out of.
Elkins definitely was, but yeah,
Elkins
Cub, I
was?
think, did for a bit. Yeah, I think Elkins spent some time with Alpha Male, did he not?
Yes, he did.
I think it was around the time when TJ was still there, if I had to guess. I mean, he's out of Sacramento, so I think they both did eventually, or at some point. But Cub, man, I love him.
I think Cub was training with TJ when
Oh,
TJ
it was
already
post-
like in LA.
It was
I
post
think.
Alpha Male.
Yeah, it was Southern California training
Yeah, but Elkins, I think, was well before, back in the day.
for sure. All right, next one.
Great win, though, by Cub Swanson. Love the guy.
Fantastic win. We had Gerald Meerschaert versus Dustin Stoltzfus.
Meerschaert is just refusing to go away.
He is. Dude, so you have the rough loss when he gets knocked out, right?
Yeah, to Kamzat.
To Hamza Chimaev. And then he goes on a little bit of a streak.
Yeah, man, he's got 3 in a row, right?
Three in a row.
Yeah.
And I mean,
What
if you
the
take a
fuck?
look at his losses, Eric Anders, Ian Heinisch, Hamza Chimaev, so it's not like he's
Not bad.
yeah.
The problem is in these wins, he's getting tested hard. He's showing signs that he's getting picked apart a little bit, getting rocked. But then you look at the end game, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. 3 finishes in a row. Very impressive.
Meerschaert sometimes, like yesterday, he was in a few decent positions to try to defend. He was down on his back, right? But he's trying to defend the ground and pound. Then he goes for a leg lock, and the position he puts himself in is just like wide open for some bombs.
Yeah.
And like you said, classic Meerschaert, right? But he just continues grinding.
Refuses
his
to quit,
opening.
man.
He had some slick transitions though.
Dude, he
His
always
transition,
does.
where it almost looked like he was about to shrimp out, and then all of a sudden he puts Stoltzfus in an armbar. Stoltzfus very good though, defends it and walks around outside of it. But I was like, man, Meerschaert's like sneaky off his back.
Yeah, he's good. It's just he's hittable. That's the problem, right? Like he gets hit a decent amount.
More than most.
Yeah, but the dude is tough as nails. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's 3 submissions in a row.
34-14. Been doing this for a while, huh?
Yeah, got some experience.
Got some experience. Well, props to
Knows
Meerschaert,
his
3 in a
limits.
row.
You know, I mean, that's the thing, right? He knows that that even when the going gets tough, that's not his limit. You know, like he's getting pieced up and rocked, and as long as he's still conscious, he's still got a chance, and he knows that about himself. You only get that when you have that experience, you know.
Yep. As long as it's not Hamzat that's laying down the hammer, he's
Yeah,
fine.
that was a tough one.
That was a very tough one. All right.
That's a tough one.
We also had a first in the UFC.
First,
Mr. Dustin Tafa.
Oh, we also didn't mention that Derrick Lewis throws a cup out, becomes the man with the most knockouts in UFC history. We missed a lot on that fight. I think I was still just sad about Woodley. But yeah, Tafa setting a new record, or precedent, I guess. First heavyweight in the UFC to ever miss weight.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
And, and I see him in the octagon, and I'm like, man, I've seen bigger heavyweights
Brockman
in that.
265. Every time.
I don't know. Maybe he was just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, look at him there. He seems like he's kind of just like, fuck it.
It's just how he lives life, man,
What's crazy, I think people have missed weight before in heavyweight and then made it within the hour, right? Like Greg Hardy missed weight and then got the extra hour, makes weight. Tafa shows up at 267 and a half. Hour later, he walks back at 267. Lost half a pound.
He probably just want to go take a piss or something, and he was like, all right, I should be good, guys. Should be good.
Yeah, wow. It was a long one.
He possessed so much power.
Holy shit, man.
So much power.
Hunsucker's tough. Hunsucker's tough. We've seen him go through back and forth battles at heavyweight, which shows that you're tough, right? Because if you're not, you're just going to get dropped. Dude broke through his guard with the high kick. He blocked it perfectly with both arms, and it's still straight. It just dropped him.
That was
massive power in that kick.
Impressive. Look at that.
I mean, look at that. He had both arms up and just.
So, I mean, it hits him like what? Right on the wrist.
Yeah. Probably the worst spot to get hit, right? If you're blocking.
Not direct contact. So he probably just slammed his hand into his forehead.
It was nasty.
It was nasty.
Also, shout out to the camera crew. I always thought the best line of thinking for camera crews for fights is to switch to whoever has the angle that would make it look more like Street Fighter, right? Where it's like both of them side by side, like like a fight.
I don't know what that angle is called, but I know Rich would probably know it.
Yeah, whatever the Street Fighter angle is. But instead, they're like, "Oh, he's got him in the cage. Let's just keep it on the camera that's so close to the back of Hunsucker's head that we can't even see the high kick land." Why do we keep the camera on him when they like that? But
no, with Tafa, he's not ranked, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think. He's only 5-3. Man, still young in the sport. Then at 5-3,
very young.
And who did he call out? Was it Felipe?
Oh, did he? I missed it. At this point, I wasn't watching with commentary.
I'm pretty sure he said that he wanted to get that one back because it was a split decision that he lost to Carlos Felipe. It was very close. It was a fun fight.
Yeah.
And he said he wanted to get it back, but that'd be a very fun one to watch.
Yeah, I'd be into that.
All right.
I don't know what Felipe's going to do. Where's he at? He just lost to Arlovsky. Maybe. Yeah, fuck it.
Right? Why not?
If I'm Felipe, I'm like, no, though. I want to keep trying to rise to the rankings. But they're both he's coming off a loss, so maybe he should.
Hey, but for us in entertainment, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, we're going to be skipping a couple fights. We'll go over Jordan Leavitt versus Matt Sayles.
Yeah, and the reason we're skipping, the Gatto Eubanks fight, right? She gets her with the body kick. Pretty awesome. We just have to kind of save time. But that was cool. Jourdain looked really good against Andre Ewell.
He sure did.
I was really excited for that fight. And, yeah, he looked good. I'm excited for Charles Jourdain. I'm
still very high on Charles Jourdain, by the way. I know that he went through a little rough patch there, but his striking is elite.
Yeah, damn, man. He beat my boy, but I'm okay with Jourdain winning because it makes that loss look better for Rojo. But when they signed that fight, Rojo versus Jourdain, I was like, this is his UFC debut. They're giving him Jourdain. What the fuck? But, it is what it is. But, yeah, we'll skip all the way to Leavitt versus Matt Sayles. Leavitt's weird, man.
He's a very interesting fella.
Yeah.
Very interesting fella. Here's a celebration at the end.
It's all squeezed.
Yeah, I don't know why it came out like that, but he's doing the splits, almost like a cheerleader move.
Like he like does it all.
Yeah. But good for him, man. He's an interesting fella. You
Mhm.
know, he's definitely somebody that stands out in the UFC.
Yeah. I mean, he's slick on the ground.
I was gonna say he's very crafty.
Dude, the stuff that he was doing, the transitions he was doing,
Now, the inverted
very high
triangle,
level.
though. The
Yeah.
inverted triangle. When I was watching, I was like, man, it doesn't really look like it's sunken in. And then he
Oh,
tapped.
it was in.
Okay, I got to go through and
It's
rewatch
it. It doesn't have to be as tight as like a regular triangle because like the pressure that you're putting on one side of the neck is almost it's at a different angle. And like if you feel the like your knee, like the inside of your knee, there's
Yep.
like two gnarly tendons right on each side, kind of like going like this. And one of
when
those.
you said that, I started feeling the side of my knee right away.
Did you feel it though?
Yeah,
Those tendons, dude. That's what's on that neck there. And so it doesn't have to be as tight with the arm on the other side. It's just that's nasty. It's tougher to get for sure. And the position he found himself in to get it, I don't know if he set it up or
he just
happened into it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he set it up because he was trying all kinds of submissions that whole fight. Sayles was having a tough time getting him off of him.
Hey, Jordan Leavitt, I'm a fan.
I'm a fan. The first time I saw him fight was the slam, the Matt Wyman slam. And I was like, oh, this is someone to watch out for. Stand up needs some work. But on the ground, he's as dangerous as they come.
What weight class is he in again?
Lightweight. Tough division. Maybe the toughest division.
If you go on his page on Tapology, it's just a picture of him that's about to land an armbar, and he's just like staring at the camera while he's doing it. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Hilarious, dude. Again, interesting fella, but I'm a fan.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
That's all I got. What were the bonuses, Will?
Bonuses. Lemos versus Angela Hill got 50,000 for the fight of the night. Cub Swanson gets a performance bonus, well deserved, and so does Gatto. Probably
Nice.
Dana's way of saying thank you for taking Eubanks out. She missed weight again. Thank you for just decimating her to the body over and over and over again until she quit. Good stuff.
Moment of silence?
Moment of silence. It was supposed to be Nina Nunes versus Lemos. That would have been a fun fight. Stoltzfus was supposed to be fighting Anthony Hernandez. Also a fun fight. If you feel for Stoltzfus, right? You take a fight on short notice and you end up losing, but it is what it is. Pennington was supposed to be fighting Julia Avila. Could have been a better fight. Trevin Jones was supposed to fight Barcelos. Would have been awesome, but Jones had to pull out. So they put in Victor Henry, and they canceled it like a day before the event. But that's it. We didn't really lose out too many crazy fights on this one. This card was actually pretty damn good.
Sweet. Yeah, it was a fun card. Rich, do we have any news? I think we do.
We sure do. This is Ramiro's man. What is this guy's name? Chael Sonnen. So my sources at TMZ tell me that he's been cited for battery. 5 counts. 5. Count of 5. Did you know about this, Will?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I knew about it. They didn't arrest him. They detained him or whatever, right? They didn't actually arrest him, so I don't think it goes on his record, and they ended up not charging with anything. I don't know what the hell happened. He was supposed to fight Frank Gore. They offered him Frank Gore, and he could have got paid to fight. Instead, he fought some nobody at a hotel and didn't get paid on the same night.
You talking about Gerald Williams?
No, Cho was supposed to fight Frank Gore first.
You said Frank Gore. Oh, okay, got it. Well, I just wanted to add this little tidbit. Darren Williams immediately retired after that fight that happened the other day. And he said, hey, I've done my time. I'm going to leave it to the professionals now. I'm going to sit my happy ass down at home. So he knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. One and done for sure. One and done.
For sure.
And I hope it was one and done for Frank Gore as well.
Yeah,
but hey, Chael Sonnen, the thing that we have to remember is that Chael Sonnen is from the streets.
Yeah.
Okay? He's from the hardcore streets of Westland, Oregon, where he had to watch people jaywalk. He had to watch people throw trash and litter on the ground and not even pick it up afterwards. I think on one of his videos, he said that his neighborhood was so poor that his neighbors were twins and they had to share a Mercedes. They couldn't afford two. So dude, you can't take him out the streets, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of waiting to hear what happened here because it seems like it's just like there was an altercation with some guy, right? I don't know what happened.
5 times?
Chael's normally a very level-headed.
5 times?
Yeah, but there's 5 counts, but I don't know how it's five counts because if you read the article, it's literally he just had an altercation with one guy. So I don't
Maybe
know
a
what
bunch
the
of
hell the
people
5
were
count-
flying in trying to stop it, and he was just like
5 witnesses.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
a count.
yeah.
That's a count.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but did you see John Jones start posting stuff about this right away?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he was stoked.
So annoying.
Yeah.
So annoying where he's like, I'm not going to swoop down to your level. So I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say is, that person hasn't sinned, cast it for a stone. And I'm like, dude, you're saying something. Like you're talking shit in a way.
He's a godly man.
Without,
like, dude, didn't you just take a plea deal on beating your wife up in front of her kids?
Oh, God. That
Come
guy,
on.
I can't stand him. Can't stand him. But yeah, Chael Sonnen from the streets. We all knew this. American gangster. Still the original American gangster.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised if dudes talking shit, Talk shit, get hit.
Hey, that's very true.
Dude, people see fighters and try to test them. That's something that happens all day, every day. Almost every time they go into public, someone tries to, test them.
When you're not behind a keyboard.
Yeah.
And you think you forget that you're not behind a keyboard and you say the same shit in front of a fighter that you would say behind a keyboard, right?
Yeah.
With your Cheeto fingers
Yeah.
and they hear you. Guess what's going to happen, dude?
Also, these guys, especially from Chael's era and before, these aren't guys that were athletes through a program and became baseball players or basketball players. These guys are we didn't really have any other options, so we turned to fighting for a living.
We're good at fighting, so we thought, why not get paid for it, right?
It's when I started, I was making $4,000 a fight in the UFC, not on some bar. It was not. These guys aren't
I wish
celebrities.
I could see the altercation though.
I know,
because I could picture him being like, "I can't let you get close," like you did with
well, that's what's so surprising. The fact that he didn't even engage in the brawl with Vanderlei. It makes me think what the hell happened here for him to fight some random.
Something must have gone down.
Something must have went down. Yeah. And
now,
that's what
BJ
happens.
Penn, I believe it when it's BJ Penn in the news.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. That's what happens when you have a personality and a persona and you're a respectful guy, as crazy as it is, but Chael Sonnen is so respected. You get the benefit of the doubt in these types of situations. Other people, not quite the same.
Absolutely. All right, Rich, what else we got?
I'm told that Francis Ngannou is off his PED cycle and has lost muscle ahead of the fight with Cyril Gane. Is this true, Will?
I don't think he's off his cycle. I think he's still probably on PEDs, but he's definitely he's losing muscle mass quick. I think he's probably doing a lot more cardio. Also, I think the way that he's standing in the picture, the one on the left clearly is post heavy lifting session. And very much framed to look as big as possible. The one on the right looks like he just got done doing 10 rounds of wrestling and he's been doing a ton of cardio for a camp. And standing like that, he's not flexing his stomach. So I think his arms look smaller in the photo because of the pose and things. He's clearly way smaller.
His shoulders.
But I think the angle.
Will, he's way smaller. What are you talking about?
I mean, he's definitely smaller, but I do think the way he's standing makes it look it's even more exaggerated or exemplified. But I think he's probably still on steroids, but I do think that he's doing way more cardio and it's eating away at his muscles.
His shoulders being higher, lift the pecs up and not,
Exactly. Thank you, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
although,
man.
Will did sound like that one picture with all the math behind him from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's how Will sounded.
Yeah, seriously.
But I mean, it's no surprise. He knows how Cyril fights. They've trained together for years. He's sparred with him for years.
That's a great point.
He knows the work. He knows the work ethic. He knows the work rate. I'm sure he's toning down. It's not he could tone down 20% of his muscle and still have more muscle than most of the guys on the roster. He
also looks a lot older, I feel like.
I think this is probably post 5 rounds of wrestling. He's probably exhausted in this photo. Whereas the one on the left, he clearly just lifted a bunch of weights and posed for a photo, tried to look as massive as possible. The other one looks like he just went through hell.
Dude, McGregor looks bigger than he does now.
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
How crazy is it, though, that he's in that kind of shape and still has like a straight up six pack?
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's always looked like he is in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know, man. I see a big difference. I see
No,
a
there
huge
is.
difference.
I'm not
And
saying
I don't
there's
think
not a
it's
big
just the angle, and I don't think it's just the way that he's flexing. Like, I just feel like there's a lot less mass in general.
No, there's definitely less mass. I'm just saying that it looks even more because of the way he's standing. I mean, he's probably lost
You
like
should do the Nate Diaz pose where he's like,
the kangaroo pose.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he'd probably look a lot smaller than too.
I mean, if you just look at his forearms, it's like a different person. That's the biggest difference is the forearms for sure.
Well, I mean, he's still fit. Don't get me wrong. Just different Ngannou.
Yeah,
and I
I'd
wonder.
like to see what his cardio is going to be like.
That's what, dude. Stop taking the words out of my mouth, huh? But yeah, I wonder how good his cardio is going to be against Cyril Gane. You know, and Cyril Gane's movement's fantastic. I've said it. He moves like a middleweight.
Yeah,
and he's a heavyweight. But how much is this going to help Francis Ngannou going into that fight?
Here's the thing. This is the way I see it. Francis has the equalizer, so everything I say could be pointless because all he has to do is land one. But if he's trying to reinvent himself, lose a bunch of weight, do pure cardio, try to last 5 rounds with Cyril, he's not gonna beat him in a 5-round kickboxing fight. It's not gonna happen. Skill wise, he's not there. The way Francis beats Cyril is by knocking him out. So if he tries to reinvent himself and kickbox with him for 5 rounds, it's not gonna happen.
It's gonna be a long night.
Yeah, and the tough part for Francis is on the flip side. If he fights him the way he fights everybody else and just blitzes in and tries to just run straight through him, that's almost better for Cyril, right? Because Cyril can style on him in that way and outwork him and gas him out and all that stuff. But he has a better chance of beating Cyril, in my opinion, doing that than he does trying to kickbox him for 5 rounds.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, Rich, do we have anything else? I think that was it for this week, wasn't it?
That is it.
All right. Not very much news. We are coming up on an hour, though. So did you have anything else? Well, what fights do we have next week?
Next week, nothing. There's a New Year's Eve Rising card. We probably won't cover it, but definitely watch it. It's going to be dope. I think next weekend, we're thinking about doing the review of our predictions of the year episode. So at the beginning of the year, we made predictions of who we think the champions are going to be in each division at the end of the year. No more title fights this year. So we can go back and recap all of those. Week after that, I think we're going to do our Story of the Fight awards for best performances of the year in certain categories.
Yeah, this very sought after.
People are waiting,
awards.
Man. All these other organizations, they're already doing it. They've already done it, and it's like, what the fuck? There's still fights.
Yeah, why not give Derrick Lewis and Daukaus an opportunity?
Well, how about this? Jordan Leavitt gets an inverted triangle, and that's not up for submission of the year. They already decided. I feel like that is in the running for submission of the year.
I mean, he probably had the celebration of the year too.
Yeah. People are like, oh, he could win it next year. And it's like, who wants to pick the 2021 submission of the year in 2022?
Not us.
So we wait. We
do it the right way.
We make sure all the fights are done. Everybody else can go fucking.
We do it the right way.
Lose my number. Yeah.
You know who can lose my number. All right.
Everybody else.
Thank you, anybody that listened this week. Greatly appreciate it. We covered quite a bit. Everything from the Jake Paul versus Woodley match. Tears started flowing.
These are the last fights we'll cover for the year.
Hey, Will, it's been fun covering fights with you this year.
It's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been fun having Rich, cover fights with us this year too. Well, not cover fights. Who is this guy? It's Sayles Sonnen.
Hey, I've had one, and I'm covering.
And I'm covering.
All right. If you like our content, please subscribe. You can find us anywhere podcasts are found. On YouTube, hit that notification bell so whenever we go live, you can join us live. You get notified, of course, but it goes a long way whenever you do. And you can find us on social media. Yeah,
at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook group chat, Story of the Fight chat. Maybe we just remove that. Do we end that?
Maybe we can just remove it. I don't know.
Maybe that ends with the
Rich, if you know the Facebook very well, maybe you can help me figure it out a little bit later to see if there's a way we can get more activity on there. But the Facebook. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to another week of Story of the Fight. Is it just like grandparents on Facebook now, though?
Nazis.